Yes.
So, good afternoon, all the delegates. Now we are moving toward the third session of 1 week e-FDP day one. We are very fortunate to have a great resource person, Dr. V. Addepalli sir, director and professor, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Pharmaceutical Science and Research, Pune. Uh, the educational qualification of Sir includes he is a postdoctoral fellow from the Canadian Heart Foundation, Canada. He did his doctorate in pharmacology from Gujarat University and also the post graduation from again from Gujarat University. He did his B Pharm from Andhra University, Welted. Currently, he is a director, research and professor pharmacology at Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research, Pimpri. He is a director at SVKM's CB Patel Research Center, Mumbai. His work experience includes over 42 plus years of combined experience in research and development, teaching and academic leadership, new drug discovery, and clinical and regulatory research. His area of interest and expertise include CNS disorders, neuropharmacology, pain, migraine, psychopharmacology, diabetes and cardiovascular complications, angiogenesis and metabolic disorders, preclinical and safety pharmacology, translational medicine and drug discovery, pharmacovigilance and regulatory toxicology. His research and academic contribution includes around 150 plus research publications in national and international peer-reviewed journals. 12 PhD scholars are guided by the sir and 75 plus MPharm dissertations were supervised. He had 7 plus international patent in his credit and he authored many books and international book chapters. He is an active peer reviewer and editorial board member for multiple journals. His leadership and professional roles includes he is a chairman member of Institutional Animal Ethics Committee. He is a chairman of Clinical Ethics Committees. He is a subject expert and examiner for NIPER, BHU, ICT Mumbai, Manipal University, Gujarat University. He is a member of Indian Pharmacological Society. Sorry. He is also a member of ISPOR USA, IPA, ISHR, Indian Society of Hypertension. His awards and recognition includes Lifetime Achievement Award in 2024, Pharmacology Excellence Award by Indian Pharmacological Society, Star Pharmacologist Award by IPS, Best Research Faculty and Best Research Paper Award, multiple years. International travel and research grants are received by Sir from DST, Canadian Heart Foundation, and ICMR. Google Scholar profile of Sir includes around 1400 citations. His H index is 19 and I-10 index is 28. Today Sir is going to deliver a very important topic, a snapshot on research and development and ethics in pharmaceutical education. So on behalf of all of us, I now request Sir to please start the session.
Okay. Thank you, madam. All of you. I think learned faculty, research scholars, PhD aspirants, and dear students. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Your screen is also visible, sir.
okay. The present, I think at the outset, let me thank the organizers for having invited me for such a wonderful theme of the your program e-FDP, Fostering Research, Innovation, Academic Excellence in Pharma Education, which is the need of the hour, all of us are aware. Particularly in pharma education, this is the need of the hour. As you know, I just kept the title, The Research and Development and Ethical Practices in Pharma Education, a snapshot. I think, is it, can you see the next slide? Hello? 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 Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the next slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The ethos of pharmaceutical profession is intrinsically reflected in the quality of any institution's educational, research, and developmental programs. And that's why each pharma institute has to be aware of its quality, that they are conducting what type of research and the value addition through education. We all know that research and teaching should go hand in hand. It should be always on par with the present day knowledge. So, in tune with the rapid expansion of pharmaceutical research and increasing integration of digital and AI driven learning, there is a complexity in the ethical aspects. So, pharma education must be guided by strong research competence and robust ethical framework. The quality of pharma education must align with evolving industry expectation. This is most important. Normally, we look at our curriculum and we go ahead, but we should always get it aligned with the industry expectation. Is it audible? All of you, please. Madam, is it audible?
Yes, sir. You are
Hello?
audible.
Yeah. Research
Yes, sir.
is yeah.
You are
Research
audible.
is to see what everybody else has seen, but to think differently what nobody else has thought. That is what is research. In fact, we should not feel research in pharma education or medical. It is there in our sphere of life. Research is always hidden in human life, somewhere or the other. There is no research, there is no action. Without action, no action without research. So we always should pay attention what kind of thought process should be involved and how it can lead to further new concepts, methodologies, and how to synthesize and analyze the previous research to the extent that it can create outcomes. That is the one way of looking at why we should do research, what it leads to us. We all know. I think, apart from faculty, since the students are there, I am making a fundamental statements. It restores, it restores and protect memory and enhance mathematics and problem solving. All of us are aware, human brain, we have number of neurons. The neuronal firing rate is possible only when there is a proper research and mind blogging and thinking. Otherwise, as we know, an idle man's brain is a devil's workshop. You agree? Hello? 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 Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it prepares the mind for a better understanding of concepts. And we can perform better in comparison to the person who is reluctant to research. So that means research propels a humanity forward. And even Dajima does research in a house. Same way, in our profession, in our job, we should think that we are not doing anything different, but we should do in a very systematic manner. What you need, curiosity. N2 factor is most important in research. into, and you should develop a passion towards what you are. The critical thinking skills, inquisitiveness, and how to ask questions. Today, this is another active listening and observing and speaking. All will come in a way through research. What you need, some few characteristics. You should be honesty filled, as we know. Honesty is the best policy. So you should be inculcated at the very time that you start your homework. Openness to reveal what you've done. Orderliness to consider others' interest and others' research. There should be impartiality. Of course, ethics and professional ethics we'll talk about as a separate component. There is no other method than doing your best, damnedest. Otherwise, at most, you should do whatever best that is possible. That is the mantra. And you should always develop research questions which are very key. They are very the key factors. And it must answer the research question, whatever method that you have developed. The methodology should guide the application. Epistemology, the theory and practice should guide the analysis. All must include the rigor. Can you see the next slide? Hello? Can you
Yes,
see
sir.
the next slide?
Yes, sir. Yes.
There is a role in creating new knowledge, aren't? That's why one should always think what is the advantage of our research and development. It bridges the gap between the discovery and application, thereby translating research into real world impact. What is driving? It should drive the innovation by transforming our ideas into novel products, services, and processes that is happening across globally now. It should also enable handle new healthcare issues, particularly since we are in pharma education. We all should look forward for healthcare issues and how to enhance patient outcomes. That is what we need to also keep it in mind when we talk drug research, pharma research. Translation of an idea or a discovery into a product that addresses the health need. That's most important. And it should be a safe, effective, and affordable. That should be the need. Affordable, cost effective. Some of you are aware, I'm sure, some senior faculty and some of your PhD scholars must have seen the World Intellectual Property Organization recently released in January 2026. R&D spending is a key driver of technology progress and innovation. If you look at the pie diagram, of course, what is major thing in this, China spending much more than it has surpassed even USA for the first time from 2024. Is it not it's really a magic that China has done. It is ranked first, second is USA, third is Japan, and of course, if you observe, India is at seventh. Nothing to worry. Let us go by step because spending is one aspect, and we should need how to look at proper ideas, how to take observation apart from spending. Of course, infrastructure, spending, innovation is most important. And some of you are aware there is a Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan. It nationally it has set the agenda by science, research, and innovation. We should look at all this, how to nurture research and development and innovation, which are absolutely essential, and we should take the lead set up by the National Commission. And I think this is the Prime Minister's vision, Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan. Okay, now what is next that we should think? How to develop questions in pharma studies, or for that matter any research. You need to do testing the waters. How do you come up with a good research question? That is most important. It should determine the method you plan to use, how it can answer your question, what epistemology should you follow to analyze, and at the same time, all of us should always keep it in mind. The greatest gain in research is that scope is being indefinite. Research scope is always indefinite. So you should take the maximum leverage out of it. But at the same time, you should always know for every inch of the success, you should be prepared to lose acres of waste. So success is on one side, and you should also see to it that you are wasting some acres. Yeah, that is normally what we always think. And what we need? Primary research, it should have a proper design setup and process setup. Can you see the next slide? Is it changing? Hello? Hello, madam?
Yes, sir, it is changing. Research
Okay.
design and research process.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
we will touch under this design three things: observational study, correlational study, and experimental study. Nothing new. It is all known. But we should know how to make use each one. See, in observation, we always have a code given behavior, amount of duration of ocular contact between the members. Maybe I just gave the example, that's what. But you should know we can develop hypotheses to be experimentally tested and observed here. Let me tell you, India known for observational study. Our first science Nobel laureate, C.V. Raman, many of us know that. He gained experience only through observational study. Raman effect, scattered light. All of you are aware? C.V. Raman? Hello? Say yes if you know. Hello? Hello? Madam,
Hello,
can
sir.
you hear me?
Yes, sir. Participants are viewing your presentation on YouTube, sir. They
Okay.
can only have a
Okay. So I
communication
can
through
go ahead.
chat box.
I can go
Yes.
ahead. Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead, sir.
So when Raman was invited to receive the Nobel Prize at Stockholm, although he was reluctant to go there first, next when he went, they asked him, "What is the cost of your entire Nobel Prize winning experiment?" And some of you always know that, but you should know, if I have to tell you, he simply announced it is between 250 to 500 rupees way back 1940s. Just imagine. 250 to 500 rupees, and he said to the entire audience there in Stockholm, the entire prize winning experiment costed only this much, which is not comparable to the one bottle of the champagne that you people have just now really one champagne bottle we have opened. So that is what it makes a sense. Observation is most important, not alone cost and infrastructure. So we need to have a sound observation apart from infrastructure and facility. They were all stunned when he has announced. Of course, he enjoyed only lemon juice rather than champagne. Anyhow, that is followed by correlational study. You compare with the two variables and connect with our direct intervention. Here also, yeah, you will never have a causal relation by this approach, but you can come out with correlation and comparing two variables. In pharma, we always go for experimental studies, of course, which we all know that experimental studies grant to conclude causal relationships. The applications are very wide in pharma, particularly drug efficacy studies, clinical trials, and number of formulation drug development research studies, experimental sciences, and in pharma. So these are all based on experimental techniques, which we continuously do in our lab. Now, look at this, the method. We all know already there are some theories kept. Okay, you may agree, you may disagree, doesn't matter. But what you need to protect, you should hypothesize and come to some predictions and prove whether that hypothesis is confirmed or rejected by your proper observations and practical experiments. And thereby, the scientific method, the loop is finally concluded there. So, anybody is free to either agree or disagree, but you have to justify either with the hypothesis proposed or you should reject in a way with your proof. That is what is the scientifically talked about method. Now, friends, how to go ahead forward in a research scenario? We all know for everything in a research you need idea. You should search for idea. Where you will get, they won't fall from heaven. They don't come out of the blue. You have to brain gym through your scientific knowledge. Observe, again read, observe, think, and thereby, once you brain gym and brainstorm, ideas are being generated. Your neuronal firing rate will help you how to generate some ideas. And usually, the topic that you have already selected for your research may be already known, previously worked out. So you have to take that into consideration. Don't reinvent the wheel. No investe la sopa di ayo, Spanish. So try to put your idea in a different way. Talk to your friends, talk to other researchers, which is very crucial as well. Don't hide, don't shy away. You should always keep open your thought process and do the literature search which is relevant, which will help. And try to Google around and come out with a conceptual map about the selected problem, and at the same time take the advantage of that resource that is being found in the library. Nowadays, going to library has become very rare. We should always look at, you know, a routine wise, you should inculcate the habit and get into library and look at the facts and correlate with your ideas. Now, having set your idea, don't fall in love with your own original idea. You may fall in love, but be ready to shape it. In the present day global scenario, you should know how to reshape. Talk to other people. It can be understood by other people not working in the field, but then you are on the right track. That your idea is new. Useful to comment, criticize, and transform your original idea, and thereby try to substantiate with references and take into account all this and change, ready to reshape your original idea. All of us, you see, at the student age, you have your girlfriends, boyfriends, but you may change them as per their your. So in the same way, even in research, when you set some of the original ideas, you should know how to reshape them. Okay. Prepare an action plan depending on the goals and the ideas that you already set. Here, one should consider Abstratzer rule. It is always takes longer than you expect, which we all know that. In fact, you have to have that margin, even if you take Hofstadter's law into consideration. So keep that kind of thing very seriously and take longer than what you expect. That should be in your intention. Your supervisor will help you to set the real plan. And the plan is a serious compromise between you and your supervisor. Don't run. And always you should conduct a pilot test. Very, very important. Instead of waiting for all the requirements, start conducting a pilot study. Minimize your risk, particularly by running some trials with the amount of the data and the, of course, preclinical as well as clinical, provided you are using some human subjects. And your closest friends and family are good candidates for you to get the feedback. Then modify your original idea and set up accordingly. Start doing now actual study as different design that we talked about. Three designs you can take one of these and go ahead and try to conform yourself into that design factor. And sometimes if it is a clinical, we will talk about in the ethics, you need to follow some of the confidentiality as well. Analyze your data, publish, give a public presentation, I would say first, and publish your research data. That is the ultimate. You should not keep to yourself. Whatever research that is generated, enjoy by publication and have the criticism and rationale and try to look forward for the comments, and that will help you to take forward your research. This is one set of properties and characteristics about the research. Now the next component, madam, I think the slide is changed. Ethics. Did you see?
Yes, ethics in pharmaceutical research,
Yeah.
foundations of ethics.
So the
Yes.
next component in the research is ethics. Today, the world is missing, and we are very much in a hurry, and it has become a rat race. And research should never become a rat race. You should know how to stick on to the original concepts, and the behavior discipline is most important along with the knowledge. And all of us know that your behavior will handle the situation when knowledge fails. That means ethics is most important. And scientific conduct and professional integrity is one of the major things today the global community has to look into. And how to protect the research participation and credibility of scientific outcomes is another aspect of ethics. Direct impact at patient health and safety. What we need in pharmaceutical science is patient health and their out. And we need to think there is a direct impact on whatever we do. That's why ethics, you should be complying always. Regulatory compliance is another aspect, otherwise, your integrity, your data is not being accepted by the global community. Maintenance of public trust is most important. Once your trust is taken by others, once they trust you, the healthcare system can go a long way. So, ethics will play a crucial role, and governance can be done through institutional review boards, ethics committees, and suppose if it is a clinical international guidelines, declaration of Helsinki, good clinical practices, good, good research practices as well. We should try to implement with letter and spirit, not just for the sake of writing in the document. You should try to obey and follow in a practical way. What are this ethics is all about? This is a set of principles of right conduct. Now, human behavior and discipline, I told you, that is nothing but it should be inculcated at your home itself. Every individual should cultivate and inculcate at his or her home only. Then the same thing will percolate in their doings as well. It is a theory of system of moral values. And medical ethics today can hamper if you don't have the entire generation. It can be spoiled through in your clinical ethics if they are not followed. What are the basic principles? Autonomy, dignity, integrity, vulnerability. These are the four main things which we always keep it in mind whenever we do any sort of professional work in our overall research. And you can always add on beneficence factor, obligation to maximize benefits and minimize the harm. This is the basic thing whenever you are dealing with the preclinical or even clinical. How to maximize benefit and minimize the harm. Non-maleficence, avoidance of any unnecessary risk and injury. That's why we have in preclinical and clinical, we should always follow the national, regulatory guidelines. And fair selection and equitable treatment to all the participants is very, very important. What are the characteristics of a good researcher as per ethics? One should be enthusiastic, otherwise it won't work. Open-minded, you should be ready for the affirmative and even for criticism. Common sense should prevail on one's ability to assume others' roles. Self-confidence, creative and inventive. Today, it is very much a smart way of tackling many of the present day scenario. And your soft skills should be good. Attentive to details. This is most important. As Abdul Kalam used to tell always, your observations and listening and attention to the details, very, very important. The integrity and the honesty will go a long way to consider you as a good researcher. You should be ready to accept valid criticism. You should know how to address the real world issue and the importance of accurate civil, your ethical problem solving capacity even. Now, if you take some of the ethical issues in preclinical and experimental research, which is normally followed in pharma and medical colleges, animal research ethics. I need not to go into details. I will just highlight. There are 3 R's: replacement, reduction, refinement. You should always take into account these 3 major, application values. What are the emerging alternatives? Instead of using animals straight away, non-animal methodologies are becoming needed. Our NAMs, organ on chip models, which we have been following, the in vitro systems, artificial intelligence driven in silico simulations is coming up very rapid way, and we should know how to simulate these things and approve in our experimental setups. The challenges, translational limitations we should always take into consideration. And further, ethical challenges, because the global research is subjected to a number of technology related issues. Algorithm based bias in AI driven drug discovery is becoming very pertinent. Data privacy, cyber security risk to be tackled, and you need ethical background. Global research ethics should be involved in regulatory standards, ethical issues in international clinical trials. Very important. Madam, did you see this slide? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, to
Content
give an
library.
example, the
Yes.
audience know there is one drug which is withdrawn, rasiglitazone, which is anti-diabetic in 2013. It was working for 10 years globally. Suddenly they withdrew in 2013. Why? The Because of international clinical ethics are not followed by GSK company, GlaxoSmithKline. It has shown in safety pharmacology QT interval problem in heart myocardial infarction. Still, the manipulation was done and lobbying was done and no ethics followed. For 10 years, the drug is in the market and it has become a blockbuster that time. And suddenly it was withdrawn because afterwards myocardial infarction was noticeable by other factors, other societies. So one needs to always keep an ethical background when you are trying to deal international clinical trials before you finally introduce the drug in the market. Commercial pressures should not be taken lightly and you should not be taken simply as it is. Publication bias. Research outcome should be properly envisaged and governance and emerging technologies should be tackled with ethical priority. Need for interdisciplinary ethical background is important. Now comes, since the organizers have kept very aptly their e-FDP as an innovation, also innovation is needed and technology. How do we look at this innovation and technology, particularly in pharma education today? We need to look at the transformation of pharmaceutical education. What are the drivers of change? Rapid advancement in biomedical science and drug development is ongoing. Thereby, you need to integrate digital technologies into healthcare practice. Being a pharmaceutical person, this is our one of the purposes. How to integrate digital technology into our healthcare system. Demand for industry ready, research competent graduates. This is also we need to ponder over through academic brainstorming sessions, both from faculty level and educational and research organization and industry. Everybody should sit together and how to come out with what are the do's and do nots to meet with. And educational models should be shifted from passive learning to active problem based learning. Competency should be evolved, outcome based driven curriculum rather than sticking back to earlier curricula. Their revisiting of the curriculum is very important. And the interdisciplinary technology enhancement should happen on a regular basis. Educational implications are vital for critical thinking. And today, across the globe, virtual clinical simulations are there. Clinical decision making risk free environment. Digital dispensing and pharmacy simulations. This is one way all our pharmacy people, those who are pharma D, clinical pharmacy, they should always look at it how the medication management systems can be manipulated properly. Practice based learning without patient risk is another way to tap through digital learning. Virtual laboratory environment, how to simulate the analytical techniques, what are the educational benefits by enhanced experimental learning, how to reduce the cost effective, support the flexible self-directed analysis is most important. Next, as we always hear for the last 10 years in a decade, artificial intelligence is the buzzword in any domain, even in pharma education and research. How to look at AI in drug discovery, education, chemical data analysis tools, predictive modeling of drug efficacy and safety. Some of you are very good in your pharma chemistry, network pharmacology, and in silico computational methods. So we need to integrate all this. How to come out with a personalized educational pathway, biological data analysis with respect to protein structure and prediction, which is very, very vital for molecular biology experiments. Genomic and pharmacological data interpretation is most vital today. Doing experiment and interpretation is most important. And how to take out the cluster genomic pharmacological data as well, and interpretation, how it can impact AI integrated system in the healthcare system is also to be seen. Now comes some technologies in pharmaceutical training. Madam, did you see the next slide? No?
Yes, sir. Advanced technologies in
Okay,
pharmaceutical.
okay.
Yes.
3D printing and additive manufacturing. This is something again, a new technology over a decade, which can help in a personalized medicine development, customized drug delivery. Both are equally important. Drug delivery is taking a new shape, pharmaceutical, pharmaceutics, and thereby how to come up with a drug delivery systems, what are the do's and do nots can be seen. And collaborative platforms should be work cloud-based data sharing. And all of us know that pharmacy is a multidisciplinary discipline. So we should try to incorporate all the concepts. Network pharmacology, I was telling earlier. How to target multi-target drug discovery approach. Network pharmacology, you should try to assimilate this kind of and integrate the genomics and proteomic data. And this is coming as a very, very valuable tool for chemistry and pharmacology people. In fact, there is a saying medicinal chemistry should marry with pharmacology. Then you can come out with a pharmacophore oriented, effective, active lead. That can happen when there is a network pharmacology being taken as one of the tools. Of course, skill development outcomes, innovation capability, technological literacy, research competence, translational. Now, before we come to the last few, 2 3 slides, how to critically evaluate the technology in pharma training, what the advantage, how enhanced engagement and experimental learning, improved accessibility, sorry, development of digital competences, and at the same time, what impact it has on the pedagogy that we follow the methods, teaching methods, and its practice should always facilitate problem-based learning, how to focus on solving real-life case study, regulatory hurdles, how to overcome, rather than just theory. They also promote self-directed asynchronous learning, and we need to conduct, and by integrating research, ethics, and innovation, a regular brainstorming sessions. If I have to summarize or give a breakup to what we talked, how the research and innovation are being fostered in pharma education. One is curriculum revamping and modernization. This should happen on a regular basis in every pharma institute. And of course, sorry to say, many institutes, even now, even in pharmacy, they do adopt at the PG level only selected subjects. That should not be case. You should have total pharmaceutical technology, you should have chemistry, pharmacology, along with the natural drugs pharmacognosy. Then only it is a balanced chair. We should not only go for just the way of, we should see, we always should try to comply with the holistic nature of pharmacy education, strengthening the infrastructure facility in industry academia collaboration. This is vital. It is not happening, although we talk on number of platforms, how to integrate, how to reach the industry platform, their need, and they should be in touch with the academics. This should follow, and of course, government is trying to come out with some systems which we should take the advantage. How to cultivate an entrepreneurial mindset. Today, this is yet another where you are not only simply looking for job, but you should be an entrepreneur giving jobs to others. That could be also one of the. And try to come out with opening incubation centers, establishing innovation and incubation centers at various levels of the universities, and to support student startups which are already happening, but we need to take up further. What is the IPR focus that we should keep it in mind? Mentorship, key enabling initiatives at the national level which can map up with the global level, and national education policy 2020. It should be implemented in letter and spirit, not to just only to say, but so far it is not totally implemented. All the youngsters should always press the faculty and the other regulators that NEP 2020 should be implemented in letter and spirit. And one more plus point for all of us, PRIP scheme, promotion of research and innovation in pharma medtech scheme is being introduced by the government. We should take fullest advantage of this PRIP scheme and the regulatory support. Finally, I would say students should be motivated across all pharma institutes by inspiring teachers, and there is always the outcome is great research. And if you consider genius can come out with it, no, even genius is only 10% is being inspiration from others, but he has to also have 90% perspiration. So you need to put in your homework. Homework is important there. The greatest enemy of the knowledge is not ignorance, but it is the illusion of knowledge. This should be perfectly understood. People say it is ignorance. No, we all should realize it is the illusion of the knowledge. Scientists are rated not by what they finish, what not by what they attempt, but by what they finish is most important. So that's why your your outcome is seen by your what you finish. At the end product of education, we all know, he should be a free, creative man with his research endeavor who can battle against all the historical circumstances and to beat the global for issues And that is to quote from Sarvepalli Radhakrishna. Thank you, one and all, and thank you, all the organizers. Yes,
Okay,
madam.
thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Some questions are there by the participants. Uh, can you see on the screen, sir? Uh, or should I read?
Wanted, yeah.
How can how can academic pharmacy
Uh,
institutions bridge the gap
Stop
between
sharing. No,
laboratory research and
should I, how the,
yes, sir.
how the
How
academic?
can academic pharmacy institutions bridge the gap between laboratory research and clinical applications?
Yes,
Can you hear
this
me,
is
sir?
something. See,
Uh,
yeah, of course. And you can
sure.
hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you can hear me? Yeah, how to bridge the gap
Yes.
between the academic institutions' lab work with respect to clinical setup. Yes. See, we have preclinical and clinical, no doubt. That's why I said there should be a bridge that should happen with the industry and the need of the hour of
Sure.
clinical research and pharma being integrated with clinical pharmacy and healthcare. This is most vital today. We need to always brainstorm and come out with value based decision how to integrate our work with respect to hospital medical problem and with respect to industry based preclinical problems, and thereby your problem or your lab experiment should be correlated with the clinical approach with a, with a thought process with the medical hospitals as well. Yes. Next question.
Yes, sir. No, sir. No. Sir,
Any other
you
questions?
have no, sir. No questions.
So we are in time. Okay. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yes, sir. You have explained very well, sir. Sir, emphasize on observational studies and correlational studies, ethics in
Uh-huh.
pharmaceutical research. Sir, you also
Yeah.
explain characteristics of good researchers.
Mhm.
And you also explain innovations and technology in pharmaceutical education. And you also emphasize on various digital platforms.
Yes.
So, on behalf of principal and organization committee of e-FDP, I am thankful to you, sir. Uh,
Thank you, ma'am.
kindly, kindly accept this certificate of appreciation. Is it
Okay.
visible to you, sir?
Should I close this my uh, okay. Uh-huh. Now you can share. I didn't see now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
You share.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Should I make it a full map of? Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you,
So,
ma'am.
yes, sir, on behalf of the organizing team and principal of our college, I am very thankful to you, sir, for such an enlightening session. And it's surely helpful for a young researcher to think on the ethics before planning for the research and publications. Yes, thank you very much, sir, and good day ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we are in time. 50 minutes we have completed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are in time, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I should leave that now, right?
Yeah, yeah, you can leave the studio, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes. Okay, thank you all the participants. Now, tomorrow we will meet at 10:30 for the session by Pranav Kumar, sir. Thank you.